to Country Pumpkin. Today I'm just going to do a quick little decorate with me, and it's going to be a junk journal. A junk journal basically is kind of a crafty, innovative journal that you make yourself. It's a bit kind of rough and put together, but it can be quite beautiful, quite frilly, quite rustic at the same time. You can do anything you want with it. The important thing is just put loads of you and individual kind of decor and traits and paper and just paraphernalia of all sorts in that journal, so it really represents you. So this one's going to be a bit more rough and rustic, and I use my tea-dyed paper, a little bit of card that I find around, and also use a faux leather sheet to cover it. So I'll show you a little bit of the process and some of the materials that I use. Okay, here I just have some Yoo-hoo glue. I have to mend and make do. Sometimes I can use the hot glue gun, sometimes I have PVA glue, sometimes I don't. So at the moment, this one, I need to use in a well-ventilated area. It is quite high aroma, very kind of pungent, but it is a really great all adhesive. And we'll be using some of this ribbon, or possibly I might be using some of this green twine. It'll depend on how I want the final look to be finished off. Not quite decided yet. And aside from this, what you need is some tea-dyed paper. Now this tea-dyed paper is paper that I've dyed myself through my special technique. Some of this is going to be a little bit more kind of textured or lined, which I'll show you briefly before I start putting it together. I have it is A5 size paper, and I've got two A5 cardboard cutout things. You can use that from cereal boxes or from previous parcels that you receive in the post, or even cardboard box can do. And those are just slightly bigger than A5 sheet each, because you want to have something about just a hint bigger than A4. And this sheet is a faux leather sheet, and this is what we're going to be covering the journal with. And once again, a bit bigger than A4 size, so that you can fit your A5 pages into it and it can wrap around. So just to show you a bit clearer, once again, these are my hand-dyed sheets of A5 paper. So it's half the size of an A4 sheet or a whole piece of paper. And what I've done is dyed them, and I've done my special technique. This one was on a rack, and some of them just go straight in, and they make all sorts of swirly, twirly patterns, different colors depending upon the temperature of the oven and how long you leave it, because this is special baked tea dyed. And then you have this beautiful kind of finish that happens, and you have this lovely kind of aged look on the edges. So I do sell this on my Etsy shop, our family Etsy shop, and I don't sell this kind at the moment, but if you do go on and you want this kind, please feel free to ask, and I can make you some little lined paper. I am only doing A5 at the moment, which is quite easy for journals and for loads of general backing and arts and craft work. And so today we're going to be using 25 sheets of this. I just did a big session on made over 100 sheets today. Do 2 journals. And what we have is, what you can see is the slightly bigger than A4 size, because it's folded over in half, and this paper will go into that. But we also have, this is just about slightly smaller or similar size to the A5, and I've got roughly 2 of those. So same size. Cut those down 2, and those are going to go inside to create a bit more of a stable area. Hi, Vern. Okay, so I've got my faux leather sheet face downwards, so the opposite side, of course, there, so that I can glue these in. So we just separate those just enough to where you have a bit of edging. Just kind of like that, going around. And then what I'm going to do is snip the edges and the corners just diagonally so that I can easily fold it over without it kind of having that happening. And then I can trim can just glue excess and it won't have to worry too much about trimming or worrying. Leaving a center bit here so that the pages can go in the middle and I can be able to sew and bind them right through there. Okay, so hopefully I will get this process down pat a bit, but what I'm going to do first before I snip the corners is just glue these down. So we have opposite sides. And take my UV glue out. And here we go. This is very pungent, but it is fantastic. And I'm just going to go ahead and make this one as well. And cover that up quickly. Slide it in, contact on there. Really stinky. Okay, with this section, I've already trimmed the corners. So just diagonally, right in line with that top corner. Do that to all the sides, just the two edges on the end and the two edges on the other end, just so that you can glue and put down. Wait for that to dry, you can snip that bit off. And then the same thing over here. Once that's snipped off and disappeared, you glue and pull down over the edge. I've given up on the Yoo-hoo glue, even though it's created a bit of a nice stable. It's just not as secure straight away as I'd like. So I'm gonna go ahead and, even though I've burned my hands quite a lot on this, I'm gonna use my glue gun and just finish all these off. But you can see better about where the corners are and how you have to fold them. So so what I've done, I managed to hot glue gun all these sides around, and then I took some crafty paper, a bit like card paper, and I cut it down to size to hide the unsightly bits and some of the excess material that's right through here. And I cut it and glued it with the hot glue gun all around. So the back, internal. So I'm doing two of them, so I'm doing two in one go. You see some glistening of the glue, but that's okay. And advise you, so that you don't burn your fingers, use a toothpick or small utensil and get at the end of your glue gun or the glue and just kind of tuck it under there in any kind of gaps that you have so you don't burn your fingers. There we go. So those are those. Now I need to put the paper in. So that's next. So we went from a piece of faux leather material, which is a bit bigger for edging purposes than an A4 piece of paper. And what we did was cut up two A5-ish sizes of cardboard paper, and that was then used to glue down onto it on the reverse side. And to cover that, we used another decorative piece of card paper, which can enable this to be folded, have the sheets of paper hand sewed into it along the spine, and then once that is done, you can fold that over, and before you know it, you will have this. But it is quite rough, rustic, quite cute in so many ways. And I have my my little signatures or gathered pieces of paper right inside. So those are the sheets. And that's ready to be filled and written. So here where the gather is, I made sure that I did hot glue meld in the middle. And then I used a bit of glue stick to create a paper edge to cover up any kind of unsightly seams. And I did the same thing in the back, but I added a bit of card here that matches this. It has a nice little pattern on the reverse side, and just tuck this little cute envelope into here. And of course you can see how that's all nice and done. There we go, that is the journal. So you can actually use paper or other material to go over that edge right there if you want, make it a bit more like a cloth bind on the side of the spine. And the extra added bits that we'll do is adding something in the front, something that can go inside the journal or they can write on the back. And add extra little tags that can go in for inserts they can write on, use to clip things into, and that will be held. And I think on this occasion, just kind of see what kind of will work. And I think I'm quite happy with the brown ribbon. We'll see about that. All I did was take the ribbon, take the ribbon and wrap it around a few times, trim it, and just tie it. And so that is our junk journal gift, who I'm going to give to my friend. And hopefully she'll like it. But it was really great inventing this, and I have to say, she's the one that kind of inspired me to kind of do something slightly different and pushed me to be creative, because I really wanted to make something special for her. So I hope she enjoys it, and I hope you get inspired as well. I think they're fabulous little things to do, and I mean, creativity kind of stirs your mind and helps you get focused even on work or anything else. Or you might learn something that you really enjoy to do, and you might be able to sell it or give it to gifts or something just for you. But thank you for tuning in, and wish you the very best, and until next time.